Yeah, okay, so we have the same top 2 and top 3, but I have Benga 1 and you have Saphir 1. I'm excited to see how that goes, but we're not there yet, because first, we are being treated to a clash of, I guess, OG Titans of Acno and Sgrape. And Acno Blasters?
I mean, wasn't he known for it back in the good old days?
So, Acno, one of the most signature picks that he has, which is kind of rare to see, is the Diana.
Blasters plays. Wow.
Yeah.
Non-Blasters players do not know how precise it is to get that edge guard, and it is difficult. You can get punished so easily, but Acno is just putting pressure. Sgrape not finding anything with this Mordex.
Sgrape just
coming out as well.
Struggling a lot. Blasters. The matchup is weird. I do think that overall Gauntlets and Scythe have a doable matchup. I don't want to say it's extremely one-sided, but Acno was doing a really good job at just walling Sgrape out. But both Scythe and Gauntlets are weapons where you need to already be in.
Yeah.
So it's really a clash of optimal playstyles for the weapons and the legends that these two players are wielding.
Yeah. I mean, exactly like you said, but Blasters needs a very specific set of locations to be relative to your opponent, right? You have to keep a really, really close eye. Gauntlets and Scythe are a little bit more forgiving, but there's not a lot of overlap between those. So whoever gets the better spacing overall is probably going to lead the game, and we're seeing this here. Acno is just getting more hits constantly. And look at him going deep off stage, but Sgrape punishing it.
GC D-Light is crazy. Acno only has a recovery, he doesn't even need it, just uses the dodge, gets back to the wall. All the options are back on the board. And now Acno being edge-guarded weapons out of his head.
What a little nice combo.
Okay, I see you over there. That was kinda clean. I was wondering, I don't play Scythe that much, I was very confused as to why he did the reversal. And then the ground pound hit, and I was like, ah, that's why he did that.
I mean, to be fair, if he did go for the normal version of Nair, I mean, you'd just be sending up and away, and probably not going to get a kill. But
wait, Sgrape has a dodge,
options.
And this is the first time Sgrape in this game, and in this entire set, actually has a damage lead.
Yep, and Acno not finding a lot, just about dodging through that ground pound. Now, first time the guitar's actually playing.
Acno saw that dodge come out from Sgrape, went in with unarmed, and was like, yeah, no, you're taking damage for that.
Oh!
Oh,
that
no, overextending with the D-Sig.
But that is a little bit too much.
He didn't dodge, Sgrape.
And finding it. Close game, close game.
Yo.
A lot to take in, a lot to take in.
I wanna give props to Sgrape. He was essentially playing one stock down with how early Acno took the first one off. Sgrape was playing with 2 stocks and still managed to clutch that out with a pretty decent... It's not the most massive, but only being in orange on Demon Island when you're on Mordex is still quite some wiggle room to play with before you're actually in threat of not being
Lucian with the low attack.
Especially if it's Lucian and you need to expect Acno to go for like either a recovery read or Sare on Blasters or something that's high committal on Katars.
And look at Acno now, just like they were at the beginning of the last game, just controlling Sgrape.
Oh, that's a dodge. That's a dodge. You're against. Okay.
Oh,
there! But Acno still gets the recovery. It doesn't knock out, but it's still a little damage and weapon starving onto Sgrape. Sgrape is doing a beautiful job.
That is a great find.
Okay, so Sgrape lost that first stock, but they're starting to develop a game plan. I can sense it by his gameplay.
Yep.
He is starting to find the windows where Acno is committing onto Blasters with a gravity cancel. And he has the room to go for a counter attack and punish from the dodge. Just, yeah, no, let it rip. Like a Beyblade. And now this is extremely even. I'm honestly surprised to see Sgrape on this big. Because for the season of 2024, I remember, and even probably 2023 actually, I remember them being in a bit of a character crisis. So, like one tournament you'd see him on the Orion, another on the Nash, the other on the Scarlet,
Wow.
another on the Mirage.
Getting an early KO off the top there with the N-Sig. Acno's gonna have to find a lot here to get it back. And it is way harder to come back with a weapon like blasters than it is with gauntlets or scythe.
Yeah, so one thing that is not a limit because of Acno himself, but because of the character that he picked, blasters and especially Kartars are really snowbally. And what I mean by that is you win and you win harder, but if you lose, you're also gonna lose harder because it's really bad to make a comeback. Exactly.
You need momentum for them. Let's see, they're sticking with Katars now. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of those. I think for someone like Saphir, I mean, just kind of looking from outside, Acno is finding a lot of pretty decent reads on the Sgrape. I said Saphir earlier because I'm going insane.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, they also played a Mordex matchup earlier on stream, so I get it. But I get where you're going with this. Acno, most of his value that he gets is on the blasters, and he knows how to get the reads. But he does have that prior blaster experience from that Diana. He has played Asuri as well before.
We were talking for a few seconds,
but
and that N-Sig is scary for Sgrape.
Sgrape needs to make a play.
Oh, and that Ser not gonna KO.
Acno is going deep.
Oh,
he wants this.
Sgrape is gonna have to find a lot, and that D-Sig evening up the set to 1-1. Wow. And look at the damage difference, by the way. 600 to 350, I think. Whew. I mean, 4 attack. That's what's gonna end up happening.
Okay, this is one of the picks that I was talking about. The Mirage is coming back out. And I kind of love this because Sgrape, it is the spear carryover from the Nash that I have played. It's the spear carryover from the Orion that I have played. They also have played Mirage in a previous tournament last year. It's probably like somewhere around the halfway mark.
They also
or maybe
played
even
Mirage
more.
in Love and War. Oh, we're resetting.
Oh.
Alright.
So, something might have happened, but I vibe a lot with this pick coming out from Sgrape. Because it just suits them. They have the experience. I've seen them play this before. So here's the thing. In a vacuum, Sgrape has the capabilities to play Mirage well. My question is, does he have the capabilities to play Mirage well against Acno of all people?
It really is a different story, isn't it?
Because you can play someone well, you can know all the ins and outs, you know all your training room combos, you know all the reads. But
I mean,
theory, there's the difference between knowing the theory and application.
It's such a small part of the game,
yeah.
Right? I mean, like, you go up against someone that doesn't know any, like, way to get the scythe combos with the minimum amount of frames in between, but they just know where you're gonna be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. And we'll see how it works against someone like Acno. And the spear pick against blasters, it's interesting. I've played it a lot from both directions.
Double side sig!
Oh, but
Triple!
Acno doesn't have enough to make it back.
Yo,
that is going to be so big for Sgrape right at the start.
Yo,
wow.
I need y'all to realize this. Sgrape took a stock of Acno in 3 moves. And like side sig. On Lucian, on one of the biggest stages in the game.
Oh, Acno going through some crazy stuff as well. Trying to take Sgrape off stage again, even though they just lost the stock there.
Okay, Sgrape, now you're playing with him, come on. I know you have a lead, but I don't think the lead is big enough for you to warrant to go for double N6 on the ledge like that. Chill out.
Acno building a lot of damage on the guitars here. I'd love to see them going for it more because I think Sgrape has the blasters pretty much figured out, especially with the new weapon as well.
Beautiful dodge. Yeah, so like the thing is, I've seen Acno play Azuri before. I can't recall.
No. Oh, but they just about make it back, and that Sarah is gonna be huge. Very well placed. Are they gonna stick with the guitars? No, they're going back to the blasters.
Nah, that doesn't surprise me. Like Acno has, I don't think it was Love and War this year. I think it was the last tournament from Brawl League of 2024, where Acno either top 3 or outright won the entire thing playing Azuri. But acno is a little bit different from other Qatar players where they look in Azuri specifically for the Qatars. acno seemed to do most of that work on the sword. The Qatars were kind of, they are not my main weapon, but I can play them if I must.
Damage building, they're there.
Exactly, like he doesn't mind them, but they're not his preference. And I can kind of see it in his Qatars here as well. Because his Qatars are doing good, don't get me wrong.
But like, it doesn't look like someone that mains Qatars, right?
Exactly. Go look, especially in Europe, go look at Wave God. And put there his Qatars and those of acno side to side. Acnos aren't bad, but the Wave Gods are, like, Wave God is the standard for optimal Qatar play.
Yep. And I mean, like, I think, like, it kind of just, like, feels like that. Qatars is a quick weapon, right? But it's only if you know what you're doing with it. And you have to be very specific. If you're not there dashing constantly, throwing out the right attacks at the right time, you look as slow as any other weapon. But if you're there, and by the way, that was a crazy mind game that we just saw there on stage for a solid few seconds.
They're just trying to read each other and trying to think of their next options. They're just trying to buy time for themselves to think about what they want to do and what their opponent might do. But Sgrape takes it away to a 2-1 over acno.
It's tough. It's tough for acno. I'm a bit surprised we're not seeing a weapon legend change. Honestly, the Qatars were there, but they weren't doing much.
I can so I'm gonna make an assumption. acno just wants to practice the Lucian. That's like a legend that they've started committing towards for the next regional.
But who practices in a tournament top 8? That's something you do in pools, maybe.
You would be surprised with the amount of people. I get the sentiment, but this isn't. There is prize money, yes, but if it's not power ranked, if it's not gonna influence your placement on the leaderboard, people are more lenient with kind of goofing around with character picks, kind of being experimental with it.
And you know what else? acno has nothing to prove. Right? acno could retire after this tournament, and we'd all still know acno was goated. Right? But same goes with Sgrape, honestly. But if you go for a newer player, you go for someone like Saphir, you go for someone like Marker, they don't have that type of leeway. If they fumble a big tournament, that leaves a mark. And not in the same way as it would for these guys.
Like, acno already has legacy, like, even... What is one just top 8 gonna do over the multiple majors that he has won in his multiple years of playing the game?
Yeah, and by the way, just top 8. Huge respect to all these players for making it this far as well. It is still very difficult to do. They all overcame very, very strong players.
In that same vein though, for Sgrape it might be a bit huge. Yes, Sgrape has managed to get the same placements as acno before. I've seen Sgrape hit top 3s, top 4s, top 8s quite often. But not to the extent acno does it, because acno in that sense is just more consistent. So, relatively speaking, Sgrape doing better is gonna, you know, make his track record look so much better.
Yeah.
Because acno already has so many...
what are we watching? No attacks came out for like 10 seconds there.
I think this might be just adaptation. I genuinely think they're not doing just to play passive. I genuinely think that the way they're playing...
at all.
Yeah, no, but I genuinely think... Like, there's people that want to play call this passive and just say, like, they don't want to play the fighting game. But I genuinely think that from what we've seen in this set, these two players are so... just good against each other. They're trying to think about their options, because we saw this starting from game 1 towards game 2, where Sgrape started to get the download onto acno's blasters. And at that moment, acno was like, okay, he's starting to understand what I want to do. How do I adapt to this? And now we're in this cycle.
Already in the red on their second stock. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But now they're on the Qatars.
Like we said before, Qatars can snowball really fast, but they already need that momentum. But the momentum is in Sgrape's favor right now.
And with Qatars, you find 1 or 2 good dodge reads, 1 or 2 good movement reads, and you can get your opponent very nicely into the orange, even into the red if you know how to do it right. But it's hard, especially because you need to get the right reads.
Dash
and
back
Sgrape
Sarah.
gets the KO.
Sgrape doing the perfect movement options to get Acno. Just barely peeking over that ledge, and Acno might be on potential tournament stock right now, but even if he manages to clutch out this game, he still has to go to game 5 against Sgrape. You know, Sgrape is starting to get it! Because Sgrape was getting clapped around in the first game, and now Acno is trying to have to switch it up. He can't do the same combos anymore that he did in game 1. Because they're just not working. That's not
gonna KO either! That's not either? What? That is crazy.
Let it be known, Sgrape is playing 4 defense Mirage, he hasn't locked in defensive stance.
But Acno's playing 4 attack Lucian, so...
That's true. Hey, that's true. Yeah, no, even the D6, those D6 were catching Sgrape off guard all the time in the first 2 games, and now it just doesn't connect anymore.
Oh, that recovery has to do it. Acno already in the orange, though. A solid combo from Sgrape, and Acno is gone. And my predictions are already going to be off, and that side sig is taking that ever so closer. Alright.
Sgrape getting stomped by Agno's Blasters now. It's starting to get a bit of deja vu from games 1 and 2. But Sgrape still has a big advantage to play with. There to punish. Doesn't get the dodge.
Big and going off stage.
Acno Sgrape.
Oh, this side sig!
Yes! Oh! Hey.
Wow.
Hey, remember how we made our predictions, right? We made our predictions.
It's set in stone. Acno, you let me down. No, but GG's to both of the players. That was absolutely crazy either way. Very, very well played.